Hey, how's it going? It's Dan McDonald here. I'm the Life Regenerator on YouTube. Thanks for joining me for today's episode of the Life Regenerator Show. I'm going to be real quick here. I've actually got a date with Sophia. We're going for a nice bike ride in Napa County, California, where they've got these awesome bike trails. Before I get started and share a little bit of health information as I'm going over the emails here, I wanted to let you know about the Raw Living Expo coming up on January 31st through February 2nd. I do look forward to meeting anybody who can make it out there, and I'm going to put a link down below, and if you can make it out there, you should use Dan the Man coupon code, then you'll save 10%, and you'll also get your name onto a list where you can join me for a very special meet and greet on Thursday night. I had to negotiate a little bit longer classes this year because a lot of these types of events, they'll have a real quick 30-minute thing, you know, or a 45-minute thing, and that's just not enough to really do a nice little talk, get everyone inspired, share some information, and then do a Q&A where we can get into some of the meat and help people with their health questions and stuff like that. So the Raw Living Expo is a whole bunch of raw food educators, and there'll be workshops and sampling of different types of products and things like that. There is going to be some great DJs, dance parties. It's kind of like a edutainment. It's like a raw food party, which is like the only party I'm going to go to, you know what I mean? And so check out the link down below, find out more about the Raw Living Expo, and if you can, where is it? It's actually in Thousand Oaks. So if you're down in that area, it would be really cool if you could come out and check it out. So thanks a lot for letting me share that. I look forward to meeting you and seeing you there. Okay, so let's just talk for a couple minutes about health. I get a lot of questions every day, and I want to encourage everyone. I've got some things on my mind lately. Let's go over 3 things really quick, and then we'll do some more in-depth stuff. But number 1 is hydration, making sure that you're getting plenty of pure water. I've been looking more into water and just making sure that we're definitely staying hydrated so that the internal of the cell is just as hydrated as the external. It's a little bit easier to keep some of the external fluids hydrated because we'll be drinking things like juices or, you know, coffee, people drink soda. Those things actually dehydrate you intracellularly, even if you keep some of the fluids in your external fluids hydrated that way. It's not true tissue hydration. So a purified water. I get spring water from a very reputable source that's tested every year, and the water quality always turns out to be very excellent. But many of you do not have access to that, and a lot of the bottled water is crap. You know what I mean? It's just tap water, so you're getting the fluoride and the chlorine anyways. So look for something ultra purified and invest in water. You know, hey, if I had 10 or 30 grand, I'd get this whole house, you know, with reverse osmosis, so there would be no fluoride and no chlorine in the water. I've got a chlorine filter for my shower, so I breathe less of that and get less of that in my body, and my showers are much shorter these days the more research that I do, and I'm also looking to move to a place where the water is pure. So look into water, do more research. I don't have much time to go into that right now, but make sure that you are staying hydrated. Juices is one way of hydration, but nothing works like the good old pure H2O. You know, I probably drink anywhere from 32 to 64 ounces of water per day. The more cooked food you eat, the more water you're going to need to help to dissolve the waste that's generally a little bit more thicker. Cooked food leaves behind more metabolic waste because when you heat the food, you destroy the cellulose, which pulls things through the GI tract so they can get left behind. You want to make sure you're staying hydrated intracellularly and extracellularly. That's one of the beauties of the fruits and the green juices, which are the 2 recommendations that I have for all the people who are trying to work on their health concerns. Think of fruit as medicine to dissolve accumulations, as well as hydrate with distilled water. And then the green juices as well, alkalinizing, bringing in the minerals, okay? So the next thing Boom, that goes right into the next thing, minerals. Across the board, we're seeing mineral deficiencies, you know? And this is a subject there's not a lot of research. And the reason why there's not a lot of research is because there's not a lot of money in actual human health. There's a conspiracy that goes way up the chain here, folks. And if we're not responsible for our own health, you know, then we're just not going to be able to do it in this day and age, because not only is the fluoride putting you to sleep and causing you to be infertile, okay, which is something that Hitler used, the chlorine is totally destroying your GI tract. Now a lot of people are still drinking tap water, and they use the Brita, and they think, oh, it's working, but it's not. The Brita is not working. You need ultra purified water in order to survive in this day and age. The water is worth its weight in gold, just like so is the fresh air. So the minerals is what I was saying is the next step. That, you know, right now I'm looking at the seaweeds as the most practical for the average person who doesn't want to spend any money on supplementation, but I'm looking at the Mother Earth minerals, and the more research that I do on the Mother Earth minerals, I'm finding them to be a pure, clean source of bioavailable minerals. I use the male formula, and I use a couple of the single formulas as well. I'm going to be doing much more research on the various effects of the singular mineral supplements, because I'm finding out, as I'm trying to help more people get rid of parasites, which is a huge plague because of the chlorine that's destroying the healthy bacteria. That's why the probiotics are so good. I finally figured that out. That's why Lou does that. But the copper, for instance, is really good and destroys parasites. So you may take the copper underneath the tongue sublingually, and then you feel like crap for a few days. But those parasites, they don't like it, man. I'm working specifically one-on-one with the people in my life, and the parasites do not dig it. They want what they want. They want the sugar. They want the grains. They want the eggs. They want the animal products. And until you get those suckers out of there, it's very difficult to eat a balanced diet and gain control. So I've been gaining more control as I've brought in more essential fats, as I've brought in more minerals, which is the key. That's what your body is hungry for, is the minerals. Now, they're obviously, these fruits and vegetable juices are the best source of bioavailable minerals if they're in the soil. And I will be bringing some literature and sharing with you some things talking about the deficiencies in the soil, why it's like that, the mass production of the farming, you know, using the NPK, the nitrogen, the phosphorus, and the potassium in the soil to grow plants. But then where's the copper? Where's the boron? Where's the selenium? Selenium is a pretty major deficiency as well, but it's also a very important key. Now, I'm just a newbie at all this, so don't get me wrong. I'm just barely getting started. I cannot read enough. I am so excited to go to bed at night and do an hour or two of research before I go to sleep, reading books and doing research on the internet. So I will be coming more and more. But for now, let's suffice to say, hey, what's wrong with spending a couple bucks a day on some kind of mineral supplementation? I'm also looking into the benefits of fulvic and humic acids, okay, which seem to be chelators for the heavy metal toxicity that's going on with the chemtrails and the water and the soil and everywhere else, and you're breathing the air and the paint fumes and everything else that's accumulating in your body, causing these disease conditions, acting as cellular disruptors. Let me take a drink of the LGB here. So the green juices are absolutely vital, like medicine, with the antioxidants and the chlorophyll. And we're going to go into oxygen next. So just check out the Mother Earth minerals. I really, really appreciate the intelligence that's coming from that company and the information that I've been learning. And so check out Shilajit, Shijla, Shilajit. I got to write it out to spell it. Shilajit. 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 It's just decomposed plant matter from tens of thousands of years ago. And so, yes, you can get everything you need from plants. That's right. You want those bioavailable, ionic, angstrom-sized minerals. But some of the plants that were prior to this situation, I don't know if you know this, but we are literally destroying this planet. You and I, we're engaged in it, but then if you go climb up the ladder, it all becomes a big conspiracy. But if you know your own dark side, then you know what a human being capable of who is sick, who's deficient in love, who's deficient in truth, like reptilian, evil, parasitic evilness, you know, and they don't care about you. They're going to get you on the tap water and turn you into a drone. Then they're going to get you on the TV and you're going to buy their products and you're going to vote for them and you're going to become a robot and a sheeple and you're going to become, you know, a lot of people get a hold of me for infertility and that's coming from the tap water, you know. And so people were bathing in it, we're drinking it, and I have a feeling Vallejo's probably got like the worst. And so I'm looking at myself and I'm like, you know, I'm trying to get my head to turn on, and I'm looking, and I'm praying, and I'm getting these messages like, yo, bro, the water that you're bathing in and showering in is not helping you in your progress to evolve. So I got to make some changes in my life. I'm going back to Hawaii because I remember when I was in Hawaii, my hair was curly, fluffy, and I started to feel better, and I never wore my shoes the whole time I was at the Raw Bras retreat, even to go into Safeway on Hawaii. In Hawaii, Safeway lets you have no shoes on. Amen. Let's go back to the DTM style where I never have to wear shoes again so I can have the earth electromagnetic energy. Check out Sheila G. Omica's my favorite brand. I shouldn't say that because then they'll sell out again and I won't be able to get it. But there's the other good brands of Sheila G, which all it is decomposed plant matter. There's also one of my favorite things from Vital Earth Minerals, and that is the humic and fulvic blend. That one lights me up, dude. I just love that one a lot. It's got everything you need, and it's just reconstituted plant matter, okay? So if your farmers stuff, oh, I'm getting organic soil. They're dropping the chemtrails here on the West Coast to make sure it's getting down into the soil, and then they're trying to get the soil prepared. There's a lot of reasons. Weather modification. They don't want it to rain on the fruits and vegetables, so there's not a prolific, and then they can't get the fruits, organic fruits and vegetables out there. The soil is depleted, and so you're not getting a lot of the micronutrients anyways, which are cofactors for every enzyme and metabolic function, and that's why people are going to sleep. And I think that's why I feel pretty damn great. I have not mastered these things. I did just break an 8-day water fast. I'm going to do 9 days next month, and I'm going to continue to master the art of the water fasting to remove these heavy metals, to remove the chlorines. And I'm going to, then when I'm eating, I'm going to use the fruit and vegetable juices and the chelators like the humic and fulvic acids, which I've barely just touched the surface because there's not that much information, but I'm going to find out more about how the humic and fulvics can chelate these larger size minerals and displace them so that the body can remove them, because like I said, they're cellular disruptors and you're not having the electricity, the metabolic energy. Your testicles aren't working, your glands aren't working, your thyroid's shutting down, and you got all kinds of thyroid issues, you know what I'm saying? And all these disruptors. So what we're trying to do is clean up, get educated, and go on the raw, organic, clean as possible, most highly educated, think for yourself, you know, type of thing. Like, I'm just a dude here to kind of point, to get you to start thinking about what you need to do, and you need to go research online. I can't condense it all into these short videos. You need to find out, what do you need to do about water? You need to find out, what do you need to do to make sure you're getting the full spectrum of minerals, okay? And now after that, so I hope I shared enough about that to get you warmed up, moving in the direction here as I continue to progress and evolve. I've been very busy lately, but I'm going to continue to make these videos and become more and more detailed. But I'm also an essence-oriented person. I think that you can understand, oh, this makes sense. There's no copper, there's no boron in the soil, so it's not getting into the plant. So if it's not getting into the plant, it's not getting into me. Now, don't listen to any of these hucksters that are telling you can get it all from food, because that's a medical doctor theory and it's not working. It doesn't work. If it was working, then why is everyone so sick? Even the healthy, raw, health eaters, conscious people aren't really getting what they need unless they're truly educated, you know? So there's some underlying factors that go way beyond like what diet you're eating. So if you're eating a paleo diet, man, I would recommend, you know, supplementing with minerals. If you're eating a raw vegan diet, I would recommend supplementing with minerals, because then you get this synergy and this conductivity, which has totally changed my whole life, man. I feel really, really good. And I'm just beginning to start to finally wake up, because that is my dream, to turn the light bulb on in my head. Because for many years I've been thinking, dude, why do I feel like I'm awake enough to know I'm asleep? And I'm like, come on, man. Sophia sees me struggling every day. Like, how can I get my brain to turn on? Now, you know, I did some stuff in my past, and that may have something to do with it. But there's other sinister things going on around here. And I am bound to determine through water fasting and raw foods and supplementation to awaken myself in this world, because this world is dirty, filthy, toxic, conspiracy theory to dumb you down and keep you down. And I am trying to do my best to work for my boy right here. You know what I'm saying? My boy, the G-O-D right here, the inner light. Just being a little channel, doing my little tiny, insignificant part, but maybe significant to you, because you might go and start drinking better water now. Some ultra purified water. I just talked to a lady a couple days ago. Gave her a free consultation for 15 minutes. She just stopped drinking tap water a couple weeks ago because they went and started getting spring water. So these videos are helping people, and that makes me very happy. So now she's going to see some health improvements, because at 29 years old, you should not be having chronic fatigue syndrome. But if you're drinking the tap water and you're not supplementing with minerals and you're not eating raw foods, then you're not going to see a lot of improvements. Raw, living foods. Here comes spring. Fruits, vegetables, herbs, nuts, and seeds. Soak them. Bring them to life. Get those bioavailable minerals, vitamins, antioxidants, fiber moving through your system. Now, the last thing I want to share before I let you go is oxygen. Can your body get sick if there is enough oxygen in each cell? Well, if you've got enough water and you're not chronically dehydrated, and you've got all your mineral needs met, and you've got the synergy and the conductivity that comes from that, you know, relationship between all of those macro and micro nutrients. A lot of people are like, where do you get your carbs? Where do you get your protein and all this crap? And I'm like, I don't give a crap about any of that. I will carb up, but you better make darn well sure that those are very high quality fruits, or I'm not going to eat low quality fruits with no minerals. And if I do, you can be rest assured I'm going to be supplementing. Even just one little shot of humic and fulvic can round you out for the day. See what I'm saying? But I eat these fruits with a lot of seeds, and that's where I get essential fats, anti-cancer properties, where I can keep the balance. Remember, the fruit and the watery sweet part is the yin, and the seeds within the fruit are the yang, so you have this balance. So I'm talking about coconut water and coconut meat. Oh dear Lord, Father of heaven and earth, and thank you, earthly mother, for making the coconut water and the meat so that I can be balanced. See what I'm saying? So there's a balance here in nature, and I think we need to evolve and become intelligent, particularly in the raw food thing. If you're going to be doing raw foods and talking about raw foods and health, you need to find out how people can stay balanced long term. Because to have them falling apart with some kind of extremism ain't the right thing. So let's go over into the oxygen, okay? First of all, the green juices are key to bringing chlorophyll into the system, which is going to help up the oxygen utilization. Wheatgrass being one of my favorites. It's like wheatgrass, boom, attaches to oxygen molecules, builds the hemoglobin, builds the blood, carries oxygen to all parts of the body. Cancer, bye-bye, ain't even possible. But don't forget that cancer a lot of times manifests itself from unresolved issues. So as you're cleansing yourself, deal with your issues. You got abused? Hey, I know what that's like in every way, shape, and form. But you know what? It's okay. I'm forgiving those people, moving on. And I'm taking the shizness and I'm growing flowers with it. So take your shizness and all that pain and all that suffering and all that hurt and turn it around into something good by helping other people. As soon as you start helping other rape victims or people that were physically abused or traumatized in so many different ways, you're going to start the healing process yourself. So don't be afraid. You can't force. Just write little things or make little videos or do a blog or something and just start sharing your experiences. I was a child of incest or whatever, and I mean, maybe it's too private, but my point is that all these things that happen, you know, you can use them, the pain and the suffering to really grow. Because like, I know people that are so close to me and it's so sad. I think they're going to die. I think they're going to die with the pain, Because they would say to me, and these people are very close to me, and I know them very well, and they would say, I just can't face it again. I just can't go through that again, because you have to reface those feelings. And that's one of the main reasons why I do the water fasting, among a thousand myriad other reasons why I water fast, and why I continue to, promote you researching what water fasting is. I'm not promoting water fasting. I'm just promoting that you understand it, so that you can understand truly how the body works. And as you become a water faster, then you really begin to understand how to create human health and what it's all about. Other than that, it's all a lot of ideas, and you truly don't know really what is breaking it down, rebuilding it, and getting your senses awakened, okay, through that process. It's something I'm going to continue to do. I had a wonderful and amazing experience on this last 8-day water fast. And so I just fit these in when I can. So anyways, I just wanted you to know that as far as bringing up the oxygenation and the cancer, that I do believe that a lot of times it's coming from unresolved issues. And that's one of the biggest things we can share here on the Life Regenerator channel, is that you look at your unresolved issues. Don't blame anyone. It's just, that ain't going to do you no good, no how, never. Not once. I'm blaming the government. I'm blaming my parents. I'm blaming my church. I'm blaming Uncle Harry. Just somewhere along the lines here, and this is where we get deep into the spiritual stuff, somewhere along the lines, that lesson needed to be learned. Get it and grow stronger from it. You know what I mean? And then get rid of those diseases in your body that are manifesting from unresolved stuff. I hope that's enough said about that. We can go into that more, and we will, because it's absolutely imperative. But on the surface, in the linear domain, get more oxygen by getting more green juices, and then getting your butt outside and purifying your blood. Sophia and I, we go out oxygen harvesting. I do it more than she does. I'm an oxygen harvester. I go out every day. Even if I'm on the computer and all this and doing work and everything, I'm going out for a 15-minute power blast. I'll run down to the bottom of the hill, right down to the water, do some breathing exercises real quick, and then get my butt back up here if all I got is 15 minutes. I like to go out for an hour or two, but I wish I could go out all day, and that's my dream, is to get out, to live back into nature. But it just took me what I had to do to do what I had to do to get back to the full circle. I've got to get the hell away from this chlorine, and I got to get away from these chemtrails, and I got to get back to nature, take my shoes off, and get sane again, and wake this thing up, turn on the light bulb. Can I get an A? An N, baby. Oxygen is the key. So go out and get more. I know you're exhausted. We are exhausted. We're not eating the raw foods. We're eating too much junk food. We're too stressed out. We need to find better ways of dealing with stress, and we need to find better dietary programs. I know y'all are freezing your butts off. You know, I would eat a raw food meal after a cup of tea. See what I'm saying? Like, if you want to keep it raw, like, have a nice big jar of tea. Some ginger and some goji berries in there. That's my favorite. And some lemon and some nice hot water. That way you're not eating that hot cooked soup, which is okay. One of the most benign things in the world is some steamed vegetables or some cooked soup. So I realize you have to do that. But again, you can destroy the fiber, and then it can kind of slow down I have a very high transit rate. That's key. I juice it, I eat it, I absorb it, it gets into my blood, it goes into my cells, it gives me energy, it stimulates me, I live, I get my stuff done, and it evacuates the next morning. You know what I mean? I have 3 to 4 bowel movements a day, and that's what you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to have a bowel movement every time that you have a meal. So you want that evacuation, and so that high fiber from the raw foods is going to be foods that you're going to have when you burst the cell wall with heat, you lose that sweeping factor, and more metabolic residues can be left behind. I know you're freezing your butts off. I am not judging anyone. I never will. I'm just encouraging. I did it, and I did it with more nuts and seeds. I did it with tea, and I bundled the heck up, and I got mentally strong. The other thing I did every single day was I would jump into the ice cold water. I would break the ice on the lake at Lake Bronson Family Nudist Park, and I would break the ice and I would jump into the freezing, and then after that, the raw foods thing, and the rest of it didn't seem cold. I would do that to program my brain, you know what I'm saying? So I do crazy things like that. But anyways, just do your best with the winter, but eat more raw foods, drink more juices, and just get that oxygen into your blood, deep into the cells. So find a hill and climb it. Like I said, I know you're exhausted, but you start making some of these moves and eliminating the heavier cooked, getting a couple colonics, doing whatever you need to do to hydrate, get to bed earlier, eliminate stress, change your job if you have to, dream big, get a vision, use your mind. Like the fluoride will put us all to sleep. The cooked food makes it a little bit harder to have that creative energy. Our organs and glands aren't functioning, and that creative energy that's coming from the sexual organs isn't going into the body, or we're wasting too much of our sexual energy as men and women, and we're not having as much of that creative life force energy to have clarity on investing back into ourselves. So, that's just something that I may talk about one of these days. I have a very specific program that I do for myself and retain as much of my life force energy in the form of those fluids as possible. You wouldn't even believe it if I told you, but I rarely imbibe I save my fluid. Okay, I'll leave it at that. And that's good for men and women to do. Raw foods, love, forgiveness, courage, and letting your vision come forth. My vision for my life as far as waking up physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually to becoming the most awakened human that I can from where I came from and all the muck and the mire that I had to go through to be at this place, to have a fire inside of me that makes me a little crazy. Kind of hard to deal with in certain ways, very extreme, intense, you know what I mean? But that vision energizes me. And so that's why I'm going to end this video with that, is that you have to have some kind of vision. Do you want to move back to nature? Get on fire about that. Is it coming from your heart? Are you trying to just lose weight and feel better and get beautiful? Nothing wrong with beauty. Man, if beauty inspires you to get healthy, don't think, I'm too spiritual for beauty. No. True spirituality is true beauty. So be beautiful, have better skin, wear some nice, natural makeup, do your hair, invest money in yourself. If beauty inspires you, physical beauty, the body, be inspired by that. If money inspires you, be inspired by that and do good things with the money. You see what I mean? Get your vision. And that will energize you more than any other single thing, because when the shiznit hits the fizzan and your relatives want to invite you over for Christmas dinner, and you know that if you go to Christmas dinner, you're going to eat a bunch of junk. This is a tough one, but I mean, it's like you might have a better chance of making different decisions if you have a vision which gives you a foundation to make those decisions. So I just say, we could go here and make money and go there and do all these things. And I say, you know what? I'd rather stay home and do a water fast. I'd rather stay home, drink juices. I'd rather stay home, take my shoes off, and do earthing. I would rather work on my own vision and work on myself than go make money or go do some other fun, cool thing probably, but maybe more of a distraction from my personal path of awakening and my hobby of awakening. So get a vision. Get some more oxygen. Eat the raw living foods as much as you possibly can. Look more into minerals. Do some research online. Find something that works for you. And also, last but not least, make sure that the water you're drinking is pure. There's some good ones out there on the market, but a lot of them are crap and a waste of money, and they got just as much chlorine and fluoride and all other, TDS, total dissolved solids, which are way too much. I do have to go. My 30 minutes is up. I was going to make a quick video, but there's too much suffering in the world for me not to spend a little time here. Share this video on your Facebook, give it a thumbs up, and check out the Raw Living Expo link down below and come out and meet me. We'll talk some more about all this stuff in a little bit more in depth, and I'll answer your questions. Peace.